Okay, this is my only shout out today, and it's a pep talk to Russell. Okay. Okay, it's a motivational, which I'm really good at because I've been there and done that. So, Russell, first of all, thank you for thinking of me to tell you off because that's what you want me to do. Well, I don't, I've been working on the Ten Commandments, seriously. And I got to judge not. And I realized how important that commandment is, judge not. And at first you think, well, you just don't judge, you just don't have an opinion. But that's almost impossible until you think about it. And when you judge, you're coming to conclusions. And the thing is, life isn't what you always see, what always appears to be. In fact, mostly it's everything is hidden purposely, because we're here in the physical world to learn. You see, we're in school now, and you got to remember this: we are immortal beings. We've always been here in one form or another. The spirit is forever, eternal. There's no beginning, no end. We've always been here, but we have to evolve as humans, say. But God is life, period. Anything living, it's from God. Because there's to live, you have to have the right substances, the right oxygen, the right chemicals around you, the right everything. And if you don't have it, then life doesn't exist. You see, it's hard to. But if life is existing, in which we are, and we've evolved, as a life form, we've evolved very, very much from where we started. But we're not through yet. You see, we're just in the middle, and we're in the middle of eternity. Does that make sense? Because we're eternal beings, okay? Now, the reason some of us are blessed with this knowledge, but we have to be very careful how we impart this knowledge on, like that's why I do cameos. I'm not a preacher. I don't like to preach, although I've been accused of doing just that, but that's my age. So what you have to do, Russell, is first of all, be grateful for who you are and what you are, And as far as having bad thoughts, that's part of freedom, the freedoms that we have. So you can't have one without the other. Everything can't be all good, because in order for good to exist, there has to be bad. There has to be the opposite. And that's where we live. We live in between these two good and bad levels of existence. And we're here to learn. And you only learn from your mistakes. And so when you're having horrendous mistakes, the good news is that you're learning a lesson. That's all. Now, some of us learn real fast. Other of us takes a couple of lifetimes or even more. Pot helps me, period, because it helps me understand or even search for answers. Because a lot of us, quite a few of us, there again I'm judging, so let me rephrase that. There are, just my own personal thing, I exist in between extremely good and extremely bad. I'm in there, in between there somewhere, okay? I've learned through prayer, actually, that how to evolve. And evolving really means shutting up, being quiet and listening. Because that's what we're really here to do, is to observe and to learn. And you can't really learn if you're yapping all the time. So I've learned to listen and do cameos like this here. And I learn everything. And as far as you making videos and bragging, that's what you are. That's what you do. Don't worry about it. Don't judge. You see, even when you judge yourself, it's so easy to judge yourself. And so many people become unhappy because they judge. And you're just in the middle of it. You're not finished, you know. You're still working on a life. You're not finished until you die. And even when you die, you're not finished. You go back to the spiritual world, you regroup, you figure out what you need to learn, and then you come back and you start all over again. And it goes on forever. Until, as the scripture says, until we become a God ourselves. Not the God, but we've evolved in the spiritual world. You evolve up the ladder until you're really too pure for this life. And then I'm quite sure that there's another evolution that we have yet to reach yet. And we will. And I say we all the time because it's a group thing. See, even though we're individual beings, we're individual beings that's part of a group of individual beings. And it's like a tribe of individual beings. And a lot of us, gang up, party up, because we have similar beliefs. Like the young usually hang with the young, and so on. It's what you believe in and what you're interested in. And it's not just on the good level, it's on the bad level too. That's why you have the gangsters and you have the so-called bad people. But remember this, and I'll leave you with this. There is no hell as described by writers, where you burn in hell and that. Because in order to have fire, it has to be in a physical world. And when you die, you disappear. You go back into the spiritual world, which is actually the opposite of the physical world. Now, I don't want to confuse you, but the physical world, everything here is here. And we can look out at night and look at the stars, and we can look at hundreds of millions, trillions of years past. We can look at our past when we look out the window or look at the skies. We're in the physical world. We feel the cold, we feel the hunger, we feel pain, we feel joy. All that's in the physical world. And the reason we can feel everything is because we're here to learn. You see, there's nothing to learn in the spiritual world. There just is. And the spiritual world really consists of love. Because there's no want, need, or desire in the spiritual world. There's only love. And we all, no matter who you are, we all eventually go back to the spirit world to regroup, and then we come back. And it goes on for eternity. See, and happiness comes by helping others. That's why with me doing cameos, it's the greatest joy of my life. Because number one, I get to express my opinions without no back, nothing coming back telling me I'm full of shit. But that's one of the joys of cameos. But what I'm doing with the cameos, I'm really channeling the message I get from the spiritual world, because I'm very close to it, which is why I'm doing what I'm doing. Okay, so that's my message for you, Russell. I hope it makes sense. If not, send me a message, and we'll talk, okay?